On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. World is, again, stirring. It's awesome. It's crazy what's going on. Why is this happening now? Again, I don't know who's controlling the movie, the picture, the whatever. But this is playing at a very interesting time. And maybe it's one of those things that played at a specific time. And now we're going to capitalize a whole lot of stuff on it. Or somehow this guy was inspired to be an idiot at the right time, or whatever the case is. James Comey's situation is not going to be good for him at all. Almost no chance it works out well for him. But what is going to happen is this is going to create, of course, the deep state's desire to create some sort of riots, some sort of distraction, smokescreen, another war maybe, if they can. They're running out of ammo. They're running out of opportunities. Getting people fired up racially is one of their best things. That's still going really strong right now and being pushed even harder. I think and foresee that likely being the major cause of some of the calamities in the near future. It's going to be some of the progressive people along with them, so it's not going to be just like a bunch of black people running down the street, don't get me wrong. But there is kind of sort of an exhaustion that's happening in the nation, talking about all these things today. It's, a lot going on. And again, why? Why right now? Why James Comey? Why? Why did you choose? We're going to talk about what he's done and how dire and dour it looks for him. Don't know why. It's weird. Like he was a sacrificial lamb. Because a lot of stuff's coming out and maybe he's aware of it already and he's trying to get out in front of it or create a whole different mess to keep us thinking this is why we arrested him when in reality they were about to arrest him for something else. I mean, all these things are totally possible. Again, a lot to talk about. Let's freaking jump into it. We've got the hit list, basically. Hillary's hit list. Donald Trump retruthed this, and, well, you know when he does stuff like this, he's not messing around. Now, here's Donald Trump sharing some very vital, funny, interesting coincidences. Funny, ironic, not funny. Haha.
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997. In 1993, White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play, the bullet was never found.
Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement.
In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers, and that he may have been murdered in retaliation. Then Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy.
To this day,
Yes, very serious things tied to Hillary Clinton. This was either a shot across the bow back. James Comey was retaliating for this. Don't know. Right? The timing of everything right now is very interesting. Very interesting, in fact. Joe Rogan's guest reveals Facebook's secret experiment that manipulated 700,000 users. I want to play like 3 of these videos. Kind of wanted to play all of them, frankly. But this chick is... Well, they're talking about... Hell, I'm just going to start playing these. She's talking about how they mind fuck us. Okay? This is the MK Ultra stuff that they learned way back in the 50s, 60s, I think the 60s. They've come an extraordinarily long way. They now do it in our apps. They do it on the TV. They do it all over the place. And it's done through emotion. Emotion's one of the easiest ways to know that someone's trying to manipulate you. They use emotion. We become irrational when we use emotion. Okay? And I get ladies for the most part, and this is no slam on anybody, it's just you guys tend to operate in more emotional spaces. Emotions tend to affect you more. So a lot of the mind effing, by the way, affects you guys significantly worse. Dudes, for the most part, they get us kind of through guilt and stuff like that. Just, and the emotion stuff, but not as much. It's a different game, right? They just basically, that's kind of, I think, why they're beating up on white men specifically, because kind of a lot of the programming doesn't work the same on us, because most of it's really garnered towards the emotional side. She's talking about it. I hope you learn from this. I'm going to play all three of these. I think I'm just going to kind of take them, well, we'll take them one each, but check this out.
Well, there's so many different kinds of mind control, right? You know, one of the things we've talked about a lot on this podcast is that an enormous percentage of what you're seeing on social media in terms of interactions and debate is not real. It's not organic. It's state-run and state-funded, and it's whether it's foreign governments or our government or even corporations, you're getting inorganic discourse that's designed to form a narrative, and which is a form of mind control.
Yeah. I mean, I think even at a basic level, it's known and studies have shown that we respond as if it were organic and real. And, you know, even when somebody likes a post of yours, the response is the same as like in-person interaction. So I think at the root there's a kind of way that on an emotional level, it's not just manipulation of ideas, but there's a kind of emotional engineering that's built into the platforms and doesn't even demand, at first, government involvement.
We are so heavily controlled by so many of the things that we experience, that we choose to experience, that we choose to engage with. Again, emotion is one of the simple ways. We'll kind of let them get to it, but here's some more.
DARPA was involved in the development of the internet and of things like pattern recognition, but the government has funded many studies, but really with what I got interested in social media and how I connect it with the episodes of brainwashing from earlier, or mind control, is that it operates, it creates states of emotional contagion that aren't really about convincing people of a different way to think, but more about how you feel about what you think, which is something people describe in cults too. It's not that it changed my thoughts, it's that it changed my feelings about my thoughts.
That is extraordinarily powerful and important to pay attention to. It is not about changing the thoughts. It's about changing how you feel about the thoughts. Now, this is done back and forth, by the way. Well, I think, sort of attack people for how they feel. And then that's one of the reasons why our side is generally ignored. Because to them, the feeling is everything. Well, to anybody that's even programmed. The feeling is everything. How this feels. And again, I'm not trying to get into the spiritual side of things, because you'll get gut feelings. You'll get a feeling about something. Something will hit you and you'll feel weird about it. Like, I don't know how else to describe that, but different kind of feeling. This is where you have a lower bodily root chakra kind of emotional response to something, and then make decisions based off of that rather than taking in more facts. And they are extraordinarily good at it. So let's check this third one out. It's pretty good.
There's a famous Facebook experiment I read about that took place in 2012 and was published in 2014, where they announced that they've achieved mass emotional contagion at scale, which showed that people exposed to it when they altered, so they took 700,000 users, or 693,000, I think, without informing them, but because your user agreement does make it, whenever you go on the platform, you agree to be tested, or A/B testing. So this experiment exposed a group to their news feed was altered in a negative direction emotionally, as measured by word counting software. And they discovered that group that had a negative exposure also responded in a more negative way, as judged through their posts and likes and responses. the group that was exposed to a more positive news feed by altering the algorithm then had also a measurably statistically significant effect of more positive emotional response, and the control group was unaltered by this.
Now, this is why I speak so poorly of any individual that with this information knowingly chooses to emotionally manipulate people in a way that's less beneficial. Fear and things along those lines put us into a different response than love and happiness and kindness. Now, again, should I be trying to manipulate your emotions? I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily my job to do that. But do some of us, myself included, like it when other people feel like, I feel inspired, I feel better, I feel like I did, like they feel like you're sending out a positive vibe instead of a negative vibe? Yeah, I love that. It makes me very, very happy. Very, very happy. So again, how we get to that place is your question, my question. It's different for each, by the way. Here's her final point, and I think it kind of ties in what I was saying.
But so this is why there was an ethical debate when the experiment was published in 2014, and people and on the Facebook page of the research group that did the experiment, at least one user wrote in saying, could I ever find out if I was in that experiment, because I was in the emergency room at that time with, threatening to commit suicide, and I want to know if my feed was altered, and maybe that pushed me over, into that state.
Whoa.
And of course they could never know, and it can't be traced backwards. And other people had a similar response. And there was even an investigation by the British government about whether this should be sanctioned because it affected users internationally. But I don't know what, ultimately there doesn't seem to have been any sanctions that came out of it, and anyone associated with it mostly promoted. But it's very interesting because just the concept of emotional contagion was in that way operationalized and sort of shown to be. It was almost like an announcement that this was a possibility. And 2012 was kind of an important point in the development of social media and its power.
Now, again, people that got pissed, like, they haven't been sanctioned, I just hate this, blah, blah, blah. Anybody that got emotionally pissed at that, please understand that's kind of what they're trying to do, and that's the bigger problem, right? There's so many of us, and we project it outward, and that's how we justify our emotions. They're doing this to other people. They're doing this to children. And I'm not saying that's okay. What I am saying is really all that matters is what they're doing to you. And I don't mean to be selfish. It's not like that. It's like the lifeguarding, or it's like the standpoint of putting the mask on yourself first before you try to help others. We are in a tough place as individuals because we've been programmed to believe what the herd thinks is what matters. And in reality, no. We're all here for our own sole purpose. And we can happily co-create if people would stop intentionally fucking with us. But right now, fucking with us is still happening majorly. So again, rather than getting pissed about it, make sure you're not programmed by it. Make sure you're not influenced by it. You can get in there. Just be aware of the fact, like, it's like me with YouTube. When I realize it's like the shorts are catching me, right? Like I instantly, I'll shut that window down. I'm like, no, right? And I'll go to something else or whatever. But I try to stop that because there's a flow going. When you find yourself getting emotionally enraged, close that article for now, switch to another something, go take a walk, do something else. It won. Understand when you're being caught. Stop it. Don't be pissed that they caught you. They catch me too. Happens. Sucks. But I stop it, and I know how to stop it. I simply go, all right, this is trying to influence me emotionally. Got you. Okay, whew, damn, good job. Learn the lesson. How are they doing it? What was working? Lesson learned. Sweet, sweet. Win there. And then it's like, all right, cool. Like, I caught it, though. They got me for a second, whatever. Don't beat ourselves up. And that's the thing most of us do. We have a negative thought or something crazy like that, and we beat ourselves up over it. No. Just put a positive thought out there. Put two of them, for that matter. Come up with a second way to say it that's positive. And you'll be like, haha, take that, universe. That's definitely what I mean. Let me say it a better way. They're winning when they emotionally grab you. And they continue to win so long as you're under that spell. It's up to you to be and demonstrate to others how to not be under that spell. It's not up to you to wake them. It's not up to you to unplug them. It's up to you to demonstrate. Show. Show and tell, but certainly show. Do as I say always, but also as I do. And if you're not doing as you say, you're a hypocrite, and you need to fix that, because that karmically is going to bite you in the ass. Totally off subject, but this is a big part of how they control us. It's the barking collar. It's the electric fence, and then they take it down, but you still think it's there, so you won't cross it. All of us are used to this. The key is to get out of that. So again, yes, Joe Rogan had a good conversation. Yeah, it was the same post. Palm Springs Clinic, a major bummer thing happened. This happened, I think, Saturday. Crazy. Individual, I believe, was in a vehicle, detonated a bomb in front of an IVF clinic, a place that tries to get people more pregnant than they already are. This individual, we know a little bit more about him. I think this story had more about him. Yeah, this guy here, he's a pro-mortalist. Basically somebody that doesn't believe you should create life. Like, you can't create life without permission, which I agree with. I don't know how he means that, though. Like, what do you mean? You want permission after the effect? Like, when you're 10, you want to be able to sign? Like, yeah, I agree that I should have been born. Like, it's not your choice to begin with, home dog. I mean, God chose if you want to keep it simple, or if you really get it, it's your higher self chose this through God's giving us the ability to do this. But Guy Edward Bartkus probably got teased, right? Probably. Detonated the car, explosion, ba-boom, boom. Now, I will say, and I so want to show, it tripped me out when I first saw it. I'm like, ooh, what is that? And I thought it was the dude's torso. One person died. This guy. The guy that blew up the car. He died. He was very upset about this place. Did damage. They said it didn't kill any eggs or sperm. We don't know. Whatever. That's what they say. Did some serious damage, though. Literally, a torso was found in the street. It looked like a torso, best I could tell. Again, I was a chemistry major more than biology, but if I was to look at it, look more torso-esque. And they called it flesh, or something to that effect, which is pretty gross. It was gross. I'd show it, but literally it's not okay. But yeah, the dude, he went, ugh, essentially. I mean, I don't know if that's kind of a technical term. You guys might know it. What is not a technical term, just a place of joy and health. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Yeah, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Stem active, baby. This one's almost empty. I love it. It just helps kick your stem cells up. Your stem cells help you heal. They're cells that can become any other cell. This enhances naturally in your body. You're not adding stem cells. Those are usually from embryonic cells. It usually costs like $1,000 or more. Insane. This just helps your own body create 25 to 40+% more stem cells on a given day. These cells can become other things. They help heal, right? You need skin cells. You need some lung cells. Maybe those are all up. And they're healing. By the way, your lungs are very healable. Liver, too. Liver actually regenerates as well. It's one of the few organs, if only organ, I don't know. Again, wasn't a biologist, but I know it's one of the organs that regenerates. It's weird. They can literally donate part of your liver to somebody, and it will grow into a full liver. Liver's kind of crazy like that. So Stem Active helps heal you. There's two different ways. Pills, I like them. They're easier. They're giant from some people's perspective. Girlfriend likes the gel. So she goes that route, right? It's actually a little bit less expensive last I looked. Balance is a hormonal thing that they do. And I'm telling you what, this thing is freaking incredible. It is helping women all over the place. It's a plant-based. It helps your hormonal support thing going down. And literally, you put it transdermal. It goes on your wrist. You rub your wrists together. And that's it, once a day. And literally, it's helping people sleep better. It's helping people with their, temperatures, differences. Just how they feel, just the general overall well-being of how you take on the day enhanced significantly, back to kind of where it was before shit got all weird. It's plant-based. There's no hormonal supplements. It's literally plant-based to help your body get through this. Balance. It's a beautiful thing. Amazing, incredible. The collagen supplement, peptide, collagen peptides, incredible. You got sagging skin, sore muscle, joint discomfort, lifeless hair. This is one of those things you got to kind of do for a little while. It's not like, if I take this for like 2 weeks, is all my sagging skin going to go away? No. If you take it for 2 years and then hopefully get on some sort of health routine, or maybe start even you got some heavy cans in the pantry just to do something, right? Some tries, just try to something. Start doing a little bit more and you'll be amazed. Its movement helps keep you going. Not a doctor. Don't listen to anything I say. Prime's incredible. It makes you feel more energy. It helps open up your blood vessels. I love this. You should do this before you work out. Nitric oxide booster. It's just fantastic. And of course, STEM Active for pets. It's significantly less expensive and does the same thing with pets. It gives them more healing ability. You got a pet that's gone through a surgery. You got a pet that's injured themselves. You got a pet that's maybe got hip dysplasia or joints. It's got arthritis. Oh yeah, this is one of the things you want to consider. I don't want to be crazy. It's not necessarily affordable, but we'll do stuff for our animals before we'll do it for ourselves. Collagen is also helpful in dogs, by the way. Just saying. You can mix some of that in the food. It tastes good. They're going to drink it, whatever the hell. Trust me. It's delicious. So, yeah, all saying. But STEM Active is, this is, it gets their stem cells up. Any sort of healing that they need or any sort of issues that they've got are going to, over a reasonably short period of time. Again, I highly recommend you try it. I'm not bullshitting. I've got myself, my girlfriend, this lady, Laura, the cop. I don't get to see her anymore because she's left the Starbucks I used to work at. And Nick, thank you. You've given me some insight. I've had another individual tell me, I forget your name, sorry, but the tick bites. There's a bunch of people that are talking about the power of the stem cell. So, yeah, it does work. You should try it on yourself. I mean, if you're going to get it for your dog first, great. Your dog's just like, yeah, she kisses me 3 times now, which is twice, it used to be, so obviously it's better. No, I want something better than that. I want a talking dog or you. It helps anyways. It makes better stories. All said, greatest products. I love these things. I mean, I'm using the collagen. I'm using the nitric oxide booster. I am all about the STEM Active. Girlfriend tried to say, I'm better now. I don't need... Literally, she had calcification, by the way. I'm not saying this fixes the calcification. I'm wondering if she got an x-ray, if it'd still be calcified. I don't know. And I don't really want her to go down and prove it because I don't like x-rays to begin with. But... she had calcification. I saw it on the x-ray. I pointed at the spot before the doctor even came in. We were waiting. I'm like, yeah, I bet you that's the problem right there. I mean, fuck, man. It looked like she got shot or something. This helped. And she's like, okay, I can stop now. And I'm like, no. In fact, her hair stuff's gotten better too. She's been telling me that. So the collagen is helping. She's doubled up on that, by the way. You guys, you ladies want to think about that. She's literally doubled up on it. Doubled up. She's taking twice the amount. She's taking 1 in the morning, 1 at night. It doesn't say to do that. We're going outside the rules here, folks. We're getting crazy. She was losing her hair. She was freaking out. She's about to go back home to the Philippines, and you can't be an Asian person and have hair falling out and show up back home. No, hell no. No. Might as well just kill yourself first. And literally, that would literally be a thought that would pop through the sweet young lady's head. So, she's seeing differences. She's doing some other stuff too. I think she's on the Rogaine thing too a little bit. But ultimately, yeah, she's got the internal medicine that helps the follicles not stop, which I don't like. But she's also doing the peptides and noticing a big difference and has a lot of confidence too, which is powerful. All said, a lot of good stuff. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Healthy choices, healthy life, healthy fun stuff like that. Yeah, it's all about it's the rage these days. This is extraordinarily sad, but for all the people like, you're splitting families up. Well, here's a story that you can remember to tell them. It's sad, though. Sorry.
Joe Biden's the first president in the history of this nation who came into office and unsecured a border on purpose. So I remember walking up to the tractor trailer. 19 people baked to death in back of that tractor trailer.
19 people
baked to death.
Baked?
Baked. So I walk up to the crime scene. Right away, I see several bodies on the ground because when those doors finally opened up, the people were such a rush to get air that they knocked some dead bodies out of the truck onto the ground. So I noticed some dead bodies on the ground there. Then I got to the back of the tractor trailer. I looked in the back of the tractor trailer. I just see dead people. Most of them in their underwear because they were trying to get some relief from the searing heat. I got up to 175 degrees, they said. And right away, so I looked at a keyed on little boy, and he was partially covered up by who later found out was his father, who was protecting him. And he was wearing the same color underwear that my little boy had. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. We had a guy taking pictures. When we got to the child, I knelt down beside him, put my hand on him, and I said a prayer. Because I knew, based on the years I've done alien smuggling investigations, what a horrible, horrible death this child went through. Through the investigation, we found out the little boy was the first one to die. The witnesses there that survived said that little boy begged his father not to let him die. The little boy knew he was dying. Begged his father, please don't let me die. I want to see mom again. I want to see my mommy. When you hear the testimony from the surviving witnesses, it just tore you up. No 5-year-old should have to beg for his life.
No, and for anybody that's like, well, yeah, that's why you should just let him come in without trying. It's like, well, this is when they didn't have to try. If we just tell them straight up, no way in hell you're getting in here, then they won't even try. And we'll save all sorts of lives. All right, the Comey story. Big stuff here, man. Comey's going to be escorted to Secret Service office for interview about the 8647 post. Now, we don't know a lot of specifics by any stretch of the imagination, but this interview was scheduled on Friday, and Secret Service is vigorously investigating this. We'll see what comes from that. I've got some more information. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that story. This was an interesting post. So first off, Ed Martin's talking about a few things when it comes to politicians, when it comes to James Comey, when it comes to these, well, shenanigans is a great choice of word, always. I've got, I think, a couple things of him, but check this out.
So it seems like what you could potentially do, because there's no doubt that in 30 years at the FBI and in federal law enforcement that James Comey has come about this term, 8 to 86 someone. It's been around for a very long time and is very popular. And you see it at protests. You see it all across social media, actually, on the left, as they grow ever violent and get back to their roots. So it seems like what could happen is you could potentially have a situation where James Comey is going to be lying to federal officials. He's going to be lying to the FBI when he says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what this meant. There's clearly a record of James Comey knowing what this means, and that you could really, there's a lot of very bad traps for James Comey in this instance.
Yeah. Look, a number of them. Look, the first thing that happens, he says, "Oh, I didn't know that that meant that." Well, there'll probably be some people that he worked with that will testify, he knew, or there might even be a paper trail that says he used that phrase and everybody knew. But there'll also be a point where a jury will be asked, a fact finder, like, shouldn't the guy know? Like, here's a record of what you're doing. It's not like he, moved to the country last, week from, Papua New Guinea and had never been exposed to the media or the law. This is, a seasoned professional who knows. And look, he took it down so fast. He knows he made a mistake. But excuse me, I don't think this statute is one that you sort of take back. It's pretty clear. You post it, you do it. That may mitigate his jail sentence or something like that. But I think he's got a problem. And as you point out, perjury traps are next, because he's got to either lie or tell the truth. And when he chooses that, he's either going to jail on one or he's going to jail on the other. So I don't know. Is he a drinker? Was someone impaired? Because this was a colossal misjudgment by somebody who should have known better.
And I think that's one of the strongest points to the thumbnail, basically. Like, why now? This, again, did he make a mistake? And again, people like this make mistakes. That's the thing. They make mistakes. They're running out of runway. They're running out of options. They've like, I got to try something because this isn't going to work if we don't, right? The answer's always no if you never ask. Might be no if you ask. Might not be. And that's one of the biggest conundrums for people that don't really understand the effect they have on the universe they experience. How many people actually just, they're going to say no. You don't know that. They might, sure, I'll give you that. But the answer is 100% guaranteed no if you never ask the question. Truly, 100% guarantee no if you never ask the question. But if you ask the question, This is where Comey effed up. I get he's good at what he's doing. I get he's good at answering questions. You don't get them all right. You've got maintaining, it's like trying to get through a lie detector test, man, as far as I'm concerned. Because emotions are what they do to you in the courtroom. They get you fired up on something, or they get something that you're like really passionate about, which is emotion, and you start, and you just start ramping up on it. Here's some more of Ed Martin talking about, this is not playing out good big picture for these guys. Like the timing is now, which means, or close to now-ish. I was talking to some of the friends on the weekly calls I do, the monthly calls I do, and every one of them was like, I feel like something's very close to happening. Something's close, folks. I don't know what it is. Close. I mean, there's a lot of talk of stuff in the summer, obviously, riots. I think this is building. We can see the race stuff. At least that's one thing I see being played heavily right now. Other than that, they're trying the war stuff. They failed with India Kashmir. Israel's definitely doing crazy shit right now, so they're a wild card for sure. Ukraine, Russia, it's controlled, it's contained. Everybody knows what's up. And right now, Ukraine's just being put into a corner. Well, Zelensky's being put into a corner, and hopefully Ukraine will figure it out. Something's happening right now. How this affects the world, how the stock market, and stupid shit like that, who knows? I don't know. That's why I've always talked protection, but all said, a lot going on.
Comey is a guy that really, I believe that he thinks that he's a moral, god of some sort. It's very strange to watch him speak. But again, we know he lied to the FISA court. We know that they were actually planting news stories and using the news stories as a reason to re-up the illegal warrants against Trump Tower. We know all those things happen. Are we beyond the statute of limitations? Can you look into that? Because that certainly is weaponization of the DOJ against somebody who was Hillary Clinton's, chief competitor in that election. They lied some more. And nobody has ever paid even one. Has anybody even interviewed James Comey on an official level about the lies that he told to the FISA judge?
Well, I'm not sure about the FISA one. I can tell you that he's being interviewed maybe as we speak by the folks that after what he did in terms of threatening the president of the United States. So that's gotten serious very fast
Good.
for him, and he's going to
Good.
deal with that. Your question about can we investigate? The answer is yes. And I don't really care about statute of limitations in the sense that you can't get to the bottom and find out who actually did what if you don't get to the truth. And so you have to. And let me be clear. There's lots of charges that don't have statute of limitations. RICO passed in the early 70s as a tool. It took to the 80s until they figured out how to really use it. And it took a guy named Giuliani to understand how to really use it. And RICO gets you out of statute of limitations if it's an ongoing conspiracy to do something. So there's plenty of ways to be smart about it. But again, we got to get true about it, get real about it, and then try to hold accountable the people that did it in whatever way we can. And I'm confident we'll be able to find that. We'll find the truth, and we'll also get accountability if we keep fighting for it. And look, when I switched this job, the president sent me a message. He said, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. If there's anybody that he doesn't need to inspire me more, he's the guy that's doing it. So, we got to get after it.
It's Ed Martin. We always appreciate the time.
Yeah, we are at that place, right, where he was talking about Giuliani. That's why they hate him so much. Dude knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. Knows the RICO stuff. He is an expert at it. That's why they tried to disbar him in D.C. and New York, I think both. This is fine. He can still help. He doesn't necessarily have to. He can get paid the lawyer money, but he doesn't have to necessarily be a lawyer. He can be an advisor. He can be a whatever you call him. So Democrat, super villain Brandon Straka, Mr. Walkaway. It's kind of an interesting post he makes here. Democrats are saying conservatives are crazy for interpreting 8647 as a call for violence. So they're saying that's just crazy. Why would you interpret that? Which is what it means. But why? These are the same people who still think walk peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol was a rally cry. Again, think of that for a second. That's a really good point this dude makes. Walk peacefully and patriotically, and Trump was inciting January 6th. News at 11. Yet, Democrats say posting 8647 when you were the ex-FBI director and certainly tied into some scandalous shit, but I get they don't get some of that. But posting that's nothing. Okay. Again, it's funny, right? You got to understand, it's like, again, how's the timing of this happening? It seems choreographed. There seems like we've got, to me, this is what it seems like. All right, I'm going to be honest. It seems like there's like, yeah, shit's getting bad here, and we kind of have an idea that we've got like a number of months to get stuff like figured out, or else we're screwed. We're in a hurry to kind of get this figured out. We are moving at lightning speed. Lightning speed. And, well, it's kind of cool. Devin Nunes talking to Maria Bartiromo. I didn't actually listen to this. I think I listened to part of it. I know I was going to like it, so I was like, oh, let's do this together. So I'll be watching with you. But talking about Dan and Kash Patel and what they're up to, and I've got something from them coming up next. Check it out.
Devin, you just mentioned Robert Mueller. Is that where we're going to see accountability? Are we not going to see any accountability from the likes of McCabe, Strzok, and what about Comey?
Well, Dan and Kash are part of the cleanup crew now. So because you had the initial criminality, you had the Clinton campaign doing what they did. Then you have Obama that basically lights the fuse. Well, then you had Mueller, who basically came in and covered it all up. So I think when you go in and start to look at that, remember, like everybody's paying attention to Biden, and recently these her tapes were released, and everybody knew. Now they act like they knew that Biden, was essentially out of it. Well, those lawyers that were working for Mueller had to know that Mueller was out of it. Before Biden craziness, you had Mueller craziness. So I just believe that the agents and people that moved from the Russia hoax into the Mueller witch hunt hoax, those people need to be interviewed, and there should be accountability there. I'm really anxious and want to learn from what Director Patel said, this new information. I wonder if it does have to do with that. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm sure that I will, that we will see it as a President's Intelligence Board. We will get all that information. The President's been very clear with me when he asked me to take on this role. He wants the corruption cleaned out.
Yeah.
He wants the politicization cleaned up. And I think what we're seeing here is you got to have transparency. You now have Ed Martin put in place in Washington, D.C. Now, look, we can't deal with the justices and that problem.
Well, that's right.
We'll have to deal with it one day at a time.
I mentioned Judge Boasberg. He was the one who gave Kevin Kleinsmith a smack on the wrist when Kevin Kleinsmith said, no, Carter Page is not a CIA asset, which he was. And what did he get? Community service. And here comes Judge Boasberg again, trying to stop President Trump on the immigration plans.
Yeah, every time you peel something back here, Maria, what we learn is the corruption was much worse than what we thought. And I think because President Trump has come in, he's cleaning things out, he's putting good people in. Now what we're dealing with is the last part the left owns are the judges. Yeah. And now we're learning about what the judges are doing.
That was such a good tie-in to everything that's going on, because I've got the stuff with the judges too coming up on this show. Again, everything's happening very quickly. The reason that we're succeeding is because of you guys, ripple making. You guys literally ripple making. That is how we are pulling this off. I know it sounds, no way. Trust me. When you splash out multiple things, I was just watching Oppenheimer with the girlfriend. She swears she says, I've seen it before. And there was this weird part of me that felt like there was no part of it that I recognized. Yet I was like, I almost feel like I've seen this too, but I don't know why. But the idea of an atom hitting an atom, that's what we're doing. We nuclearly explode information. They can't control it. It happens too fast. It moves too quickly. They can't block certain avenues because there's always a way around it. In fact, in some of them, we'll back channel. There's nothing they're able to do at this point. We have them surrounded. We own the airwaves, and we're continuing to close down. They still have their fingers on some sticky triggers. That's it. That's the only hang-up right now. And a lot of things change when that happens. Now, again, there's discussions around, I think, that the deep state's banking system and all that crap, too. I don't think that's necessarily safe and solid. Yeah, we did that one.
Devin, you just mentioned...
Damn it. But, damn it. Do the same thing again. This is what I wanted to get to. And this is Kash and Dan Bongino. And they're talking about Russia collusion probe, which they're almost going to have some arrests. Funny that Comey's coming in right now under the guise of something else. He did something that got the attention to get him arrested. Who, when I said on the thumbnail, why is this happening now? How about he publicly chose to do this, let me create a thing and I'll come in. And that's what he did. He made a threat. He did 8647. He's now in custody for questioning on something else, aka Russian collusion hoax, because they can't have it in the audience right now. They can't have people knowing this right now. It's under trial right now. Can't have people talking about it. It fucks everything up. I present to you. I'm telling you again, it's crazy what we're going through.
I was the lead Russiagate investigator for the House Intelligence Committee, and I've been on both your shows in a prior life talking about it. And I'm telling you and the American public that we have now found material and information and people who wanted to hide it from the world since we got in these seats. And we, as the deputy said, we are trying to do it in a fashion where not only are we informing the American public of what happened, but we can have accountability for it. And that takes a little bit more time. And when you layer on the fact that we are rolling out our priorities on violent crime and defending the homeland, you know, we're running a three-part animal here, and we're going 100 miles an hour on each single one.
So important.
I want to add to that, too, because what the director's saying is right. You got to remember, we come in the morning, there's a portfolio of 100 level 10 items. If it's a level 9, which is a pretty big freaking deal, someone else fixed it. The only thing that gets to my desk or his is a level 10. That's the entire day. Look at his schedule any given day. I'll show you the palm card I have. It is filled from 7:30 to he leaves 7 at night, 6:30 at night. It's filled all day. We just can't focus on one thing. You want New York to go boom? DC to go boom? You want an OC organization to go hack into some cyber network and crack all of Fox News' holdings? We're dealing with all that stuff too. Everything's a priority. Everything's a priority. This is one of many things we're doing. It's not an excuse. It's just reality.
And again, how many people can't handle that? It's coming from people we trust. Now, I just want to ask you guys, again, remember emotion programming at the beginning. There's always lessons baked into my shows. Dan's telling us, look, guys, you realize how huge this is and how many people we don't have? Everything that they're dealing with is a level 10. And I've seen that before. I've had to create the lists, right? Our backlog of stories to fix all the freaking shit that sucks, because this is why I left the company I love near and dear. I didn't need to keep doing it, but I just loved doing it. It's like a passion of mine. And it's just like, no, man, you guys you're making a giant mistake, and I don't have the level of time that you're going to ask me to fix all your shit. No. So here I am. The time is now, folks. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is pause my video right now and just do the thing that you just popped into your head. And do it right now really quick, and hopefully come back to my video, by the way, but whatever. Even if you don't, go do the thing right now. Right now. Because there is no later anymore. And that'll mean what it means to each and every one of us. But ultimately, there is going to be a larger thing that seems to be coming. I'm not trying to say be scared. I think we're prepared for it. I think it's going to be weird. Maybe a little sketch, but check this out. This is Johnson trying to get this whole budget thing over the finish line. Obviously got some people, certainly the Freedom Caucus, which is funny. Again, the name. This is Massey and some of these fuck faces. Did I say that out loud? I didn't. We can scratch that, right? Dan, you do the editing. So, no, that's not going to get edited out. Damn, shit. All right, whatever. Here's Johnson talking about some of the crap they need to do.
On track, working around the clock to deliver this nation-shaping legislation for the American people as soon as possible. Look, all 11 of our committees have wrapped up their work, and they spent less and saved more than even we projected initially. This really is once-in-a-generation opportunity that we have here. So you heard there the update. The Budget Committee will reconvene this evening. They'll get that through the committee, and the plan is to move it to the Rules Committee by midweek and to the House floor by the end of the week, so we meet our original Memorial Day deadline. Now look, Shannon, it's very important for everybody to understand why we're being so aggressive on the timetable and why this really is so important. This is the vehicle through which we will deliver on the mandate that the American people gave us in the last election. You're going to have historic savings for the American people, historic tax relief for American workers, historic investments in border security, at the same time that we're restoring American energy dominance, and we're rebuilding the defense industrial base, and we're ensuring that programs like Medicaid and SNAP are strengthened for the U.S. citizens who need and deserve them, and not being squandered away by illegal aliens and persons who are ineligible to receive them and are cheating the system. And look, the tax cuts, is critical. We're going to make the 2017 tax cuts permanent. We're going to eliminate taxes on overtime and tips, as the president promised. New tax relief for seniors on Social Security, and we're going to cut taxes on job creators. So that will help everybody across the country at the same time as incentivizing American-made production and manufacturing. This is a big thing. We cannot fail, and we'll get it done for the American people.
Okay.
You guys have heard me talk about herding cats, right? I mean, I'm not even being slightly facetious on that. I'm not being hyperbolic, being straight up legitimate. No, that's exactly what that poor dude has to do. Kevin McCarthy comes out and he's like, this is a bunch of bullshit that you guys can't get this passed. You guys that are voting no on Trump's big giant ass bill are crazy. He went on some radio show talking about it. So even Kevin McCarthy is coming out and saying, what the shit? Supreme Court blocks Trump from restarting Alien Enemies Act deportations. There's people making a giant mountain out of this. Calm down, calm down. As my girlfriend says, she says it with an accent. Sometimes she knows not the word exactly. She says, calm down. And if you're fired up, by the way, having someone tell you to calm down, you're like, ooh. Right? Like that's an invitation to take it up 4 notches. You're like, I'm not even trying yet. I'm just kidding, of course. Supreme Court blocks Trump. It's making me think of Bill Burr. I'm kind of borrowing some of his material at the same time relating to it. Supreme Court blocks Trump from restarting Alien Enemies Act deportations. I pulled the spot. Okay, the judges, Supreme Court talks about how all this stuff, and they cite whatever. I don't want to get into all the legal bullshit. Here's the part that really jumped out at me. I'll read just the sentence before. To be clear, we decide today only that the detainees are entitled to more notice than was given. More notice than was given. More notice. You didn't get 48 hours, more than that, whatever. It's not, I don't think it's ridiculous. They want to be able to at least have some sort of something before somebody, I think. We decide today only that detainees are entitled to more notice than was given on April 18th, and we grant temporary injunctive relief to preserve our jurisdiction, to preserve the fact that they, as the Supreme Court, represent the whole nation. I think they're doing a flex. I do, 100%. Doing a flex. We're the Supreme Court. We are the law of the land. Fudge you all, district courts, and we'll talk about that soon. I kind of think that's being done intentionally to set a hierarchy, at least from optics. So they're doing this to preserve our jurisdiction while the question of what notice is due is adjudicated. Question of what notice is due. That's it. How much notice do I have to give them? How much fighting do we really have to have? We've determined that they're quote-unquote an enemy. There's already a court case for that, at least in the district court, utilizing that. And it, in fact, says Trump is being fair within the law. So how much notice do we have to give them? Doesn't mean we can't put them in prisons. And if they're really, really bad, I'm sure there's still ways around that the Supreme Court's going to have to contend with and hopefully defines in a positive in some way. There's a lot of people, again, freaking out about this. I I think it's too soon. They just said, hey, look, Flex, give us a second. Let us fucking look at this. It's only keeping you from sending people out of the country, right? We're just still keeping them in jail. Okay? Right? We could still protect ourselves and keep rounding them up all day long. It's how do we process them? People are already jumping to conclusions. I don't think that's necessarily fair. I think if the courts come back with some sort of fair number that's been used over time, this is what the bullshit they sit there and, well, back at the case of yada-yah versus so-so, they gave him actually 12.6 months, right? Like, and they're like, yes, but that was this extreme case. There was this other time where, right? Like, you're like, dude, you guys suck. I hate playing Scrabble with you. Fuck you. Just saying with that family. Is that too personal? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Rhode Island Democrats, yeah, because, this is what they do. They're pushing to get rid of semi-automatic rifles, shotguns, pistols also, just... What's the difference between everything? What are you allowed, cannons? I love the cannons! Right, I mean, what do you, huh? What the, you get a sword? Ha! Ha ha! I dare you! And they're like, sir, you want to put the sword down? What the fuck? I'm feeling good today, folks. New Oklahoma law, on the other hand. I'm just saying, this picture's not, I didn't pick it. It's Breitbart. It's wrong, by the way, completely. That would actually get you thrown in jail with this new Arizona law. What they are saying is verbally informing another person that you possess a firearm. Like, yo, bro, I got a gun. Just saying, I got a gun. You're about to try to steal my car. I have a gun. That would be a bad idea. Then you can say or do, exposing or displaying the weapon in a manner where the reasonable person would understand that it is meant to protect against unlawful force. That is where, dun dun dun, it goes to the side, finger is straight, it is not on the trigger, right? I don't know why I'm doing that. It just makes it feel more real to me. Pow, 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 pew, 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 pew. But yes, to the side, not at. You go at, now all of a sudden, you're breaking the law. That's threatening. That's violent. That puts me under duress that immediately I am about to get, right? Like, so you're allowed to just like, hey, no, I'm just saying it's a really bad idea to try to steal my car. I've got the pink slip on it. In fact, it's inside. It's in a safe. Ask me about that. Just please. Right? Like, I mean, go ahead. Make my day. You get like a matchstick out of your mouth. Like, what else? I don't know how you do it. Placing your hand on a firearm while it's in the pocket or purse. Like, it's inside your jacket. You're like, yeah. Buddy, down here where my pectoral should be, except underneath, in a comfortable place in my armpit where it stinks all day. Right? That's okay. At somebody like this picture, no. That's wrong. The wrong way to do it. Anyway, that's Oklahoma for you. I don't know. I had fun with stories. So one of the things that's kind of interesting is the Biden story. I just kind of want to expand on the scandal and the news, if you will, at the same time. You guys know me. I like to give a story to it a little bit. The Dems right now are failing on everything, right? Everything that they're for is pretty much the wrong thing to be for, right? They screw everything. We're going to find out actually unions are even like spending a bunch of money on political stuff and not actually on the people paying the union dues. Like most of your money, hardcore, is going to political stuff. Yeah. Which is going to, of course, be Democrat. This whole thing's falling apart bad. Dems are in a tough place. They're still trying to push the directions they're trying to push and trying to act like everybody should trust them. But in fact, now that we know for sure that Biden's decline, that the Mueller report is out, everything demonstrates everybody knew, nobody said anything, you can't trust them. Even people on the left, they've been hearing lip service all this time. And now they realize you guys are lying to us. I think most people don't realize that are brainwashed. They actually think they're being told the truth, that we're the nut jobs because we believe crazy people that, aren't inside their little fucked up network. Biden heard tape drops. It's rough. I'm not listening. I haven't listened. I don't have 5 hours of my life to give to this. Even at 5.6 speed, I wouldn't. What's the point? I knew. We all knew. But I want to show, most importantly, October 2023 is when the interview was. October 2023. Think about it from this standpoint. October 2023. For sure, at this point, we know this dude can't remember when his son died. Can't remember a whole bunch of facts. I could go through the story, but a whole bunch of facts that he should remember. Now, honestly, the argument I kind of make in a weird way is I don't think Joe Biden currently, a lot of people believe he's a rubber mask wearing guy. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for a second. Okay, it might be true. Okay, don't just give me a second. If he's actually the dude that took over, is kind of what I believe, that he took over for him as an individual that could just pull off Joe Biden perfectly, and that's when we noticed the difference because obviously something happened to the other one. I'm not going to go into that story. What I think honestly is happening is I think this dude has gotten Alzheimer's and can't remember the facts because they're short-term memory. I think if they were real facts and he was the real Biden, they'd be long-term memory. And this is another connection point that people aren't making. Obviously, it's not the same Biden. So yeah, he can't remember it. If it was actually Biden, don't you think he would remember Bo and his death? And he talks about it all the time, like it's something, Bo, and he died, and Bo, and then we were banging Bo's wife because, Bo. Donald Trump, truth is, whoever had control of the auto pen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal by the moment. It is a major part of the real crime. That the presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen. Millions and millions of people knew that. But the radical left Democrats waged a campaign of inoculation and innocence like none that had ever been waged before. This is why the unselect committee of political thugs, who were given a full and complete pardon by the person who wielded the now illegally used auto pen, deleted and destroyed all evidence and information from their corrupt and vicious witch hunt against me and many other people whose lives were completely shattered and destroyed by this historically criminal event. Remember, it all began with dirty cop James Comey. Remember, he got arrested and put out the seashell thing, so the arrest at least was covered. Either he did it or someone posted it for him. Take your pick. Think about it. Are we going to see the rest? Yes. Will it look like what we think it is? Probably not. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to keep reading. Sorry. Remember, it all began with dirty cop James Comey, Obama, a hapless and cognitively impaired sleepy Joe Biden, and my now very famous accusation that they spied on my campaign. Whoever had control of the auto pen is just the beginning. The biggest crime is all of the 2020 presidential election was rigged. MAGA, won the election by millions of votes, and everyone knows it. God bless America, for the fight has just begun. Keep that in mind, folks. I'm just trying to do my best. This was actually a pretty good, solid bit. 5 minutes, damn. Who's really running the Biden White House? Yeah, Joe Biden senior staff for transcribed interviews. They got a whole bunch of people that are going to be coming in. James Comer was talking about the investigation of the auto pen use. They're going to be using it. They're going to be looking into it, and we're going after this. Service worker union in Illinois spends big on politics, little on members, and analysts have shown. They're actually digging into the numbers. It's pretty bad. The numbers, I'm trying to find them, whatever the case is. Let's see, they spent $1.8 million in 2024. Of that, just over $57,000 was spent on representing the workers. $1.2 million went to political activities and lobbying. So again, how much are you getting, worker? That's what they claim they're doing for you. What they're really doing is taking your money and destroying your country. The FCC just advanced Trump's America First agenda. The new Verizon deal was basically approved. The dealio was that, hey, look, you got to get rid of all your DEI stuff, Verizon, or else you're not getting this deal. And Verizon's like, all right, we're game with that. That's cool. We'll get rid of all of it. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a period of time where they like verify, trust but verify is what we always like to say. Reality is I don't trust you at all, and show me, don't tell me. But that said, it's the reality of it, and it's how it should work, frankly. Handshakes are where you're from in the country. I know there's certain places where there used to be a barn down there. That's where you're going to make a right turn. No, the barn's not there anymore. It burnt down about 14 years ago. Right? Like, it's always a story to get directions out to some place. It's a different kind of thing. But yeah, they basically said fix it, and you guys can have it. Tesla, they've been up a lot, which is very nice to see. I didn't buy any. I wanted to. I kind of talked to my guy, and he didn't act like it was a great idea. And I don't know. I wouldn't have made that much, probably, is maybe the point. But whatever the case is, they're up a bunch. That makes me feel better. Trump urges Walmart not to raise prices to eat the tariffs. This is a trick. I love this. And I don't know. We'll see what Walmart, if they're smart enough to do this. I don't think they are, frankly. I think the people that own, is it the Koch brothers or something, whatever? Is it them? Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, I think. But I believe, I think the owners for sure, let's put it that way, of Walmart. I'm pretty sure I've got them pegged to this, like, not good people. I want to say it's the Koch brothers, but they could be something else. Or whatever the hell. I do stupid often. You guys have seen me do it. Here's the thing. If Walmart raises the prices for the tariffs, then Walmart is going to cause its consumers to understand that almost everything that Walmart owns or has is Chinese. Let's let that sink in for a second. So people will quickly realize, oh, Walmart sucks balls. Now, if Walmart does what Trump says, which is actually the right thing to do, in their case, eats the tariff, if Walmart eats it, then the prices stay the same. Trump looks good. Walmart looks good. Everybody looks good. Walmart's just not getting as much profit right now because they import so much shit from China. But if Walmart passes on those dollars, Walmart's going to see huge problems in the number of people that will continue coming into their stores. They'll go other places. Period. This is going to be fun to see how it all plays out. Why is Mexico's government lobbying against Trump's big, beautiful bill? Obviously, they don't want anything that's going to help keep people out. But what Trump's talking about doing is actually taxing any sort of money that's sent from America to Mexico. Yeah, no, that kind of stuff. That's it's going to be taxed. Lo siento, I think we call that. A lo siento tax. Sort of funny. It just means I'm sorry. For those that don't speak Spanish at all. Right? In French, you probably don't have a word for it. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I don't know what's wrong with me. U.S. is losing its AAA credit, by the way. They're doing this right now while Trump's in office. Again, I keep saying this, I don't know, over and over. Now our credit rating's getting taken down. But Trump's numbers are better. Prices have come down. Right? But Powell hasn't changed the rates yet. So yeah, Moody's downgrade. I don't know why I pulled this in. Why did I pull this in? Probably because it was good. But yeah, they downgraded us. There you go. There's the big picture. And so where are we at? I wanted to see where we're going to be at this point in time. Okay, we're up. The futures were up. Look good. Nice. Good for you. I still, I think getting out is a good thing. Gold's up a little bit. It's sitting at 32 right now. It's not bad. Silver was, it's on the futures, isn't it? Silver was sitting about 32 at least earlier. So that's interesting. I'm just saying. DRSlikesgold.com. Just saying, guys. DRSlikesgold.com. You got a 401k and IRA. I would think diversifying out might be a good idea, or teetering. It's up to you. I've talked a lot about this, but if you want to just do 4 data points, you're going to possibly qualify for this free half-ounce, 0.999% pure Ronald Reagan coin. There's some small stuff here. Read that. I'm not right now. But yeah, whatever the case is, you might qualify. I don't want to get into all the specifics. But yes, you also qualify for up to 10% of your face value. You're going to qualify for a free book This Trump is your future. Stupid smile of me on the face, right? But your gold and silver kit's the big thing. It's an IRA, it's precious metals, it's physical, it's stuck in a trust. It's all tax-free, penalty-free. It's a bunch of awesome stuff. 4 data points. Boom. Hit the button. If you don't want to call them immediately, you know, they're going to try to call you back. I mean, that's the whole thing. But like whatever you're trying to do, it's cool. Ultimately, I'm trying to help you diversify out of that system into some precious metals that are doing extremely well, and many say has a lot of growth still baked into it, even with everything imparted. It's a lot to look into. I would get the information. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system before they get out of you. All right, the FDA, they just approved another COVID vaccine, but RFK Jr. is like, nope, right? Pump the brakes, homie. I don't know what the noise they would actually make, but the latest Novavax vaccine will only be available to elderly and those over the age of 12 with an underlying medical condition. Otherwise, nope, you can't have it. The deep state is being hit. They own the pharmacy companies. Trump and RFK Jr. both have, I think, some feelings about these things. RFK, for sure, has issues with this. Pandemonium, yeah, sailors go flying. They're calling it the Mexican Navy. I don't know. This is like a weird, they're all like on the actual, this is when it hits, yeah. We'll play this in a second. But they're all on the actual, like, these people, yeah, perform. Look at this crap. This is insanity. There it is. This is the part I wanted. Right, look at all this nonsense. Holy crapola, Batman. No way in hell. Right now, I wish my Cinco de Mayo had that going on. That would be rad. We had a mariachi band happening at the place I like to go to. Daniel, call out to you, my friend. Todos Santos, great restaurant. It's just, yeah, it's rad. That said, these guys, they were rock stars, and it was a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Now, here's the crash. I don't know what's going on. I don't think they're actually the Mexican Navy, was my point. This is some sort of maybe Mexican naval vessel, something. I have no idea, but whatever. I think it's a bunch of people that get hired to do their thing. It apparently did not get that its height and the bridge height were not in congruency, one could say. I don't know.
Holy crap. You're going to hit the dock. The camera! What is going on? Oh, what?
Now, let me be honest. It kind of looks like he sort of missed the dock here. I don't know if hitting the thing snapped the boat in a different direction because it seemed like it steered quickly. But there are still some people, it seems, up high. A couple people died from this apparently. Definitely got jacked up. Yes, not good. So bad mojo all the way across the board. Harrowing footage, yes, of course. We don't need to play it anymore. But yes, it was unfortunate. U.S. Space Chief says China, unfortunate maybe is a little too blasé. I apologize. Not a great transition. That was incredibly horrible, man. China news. Is that better? Anyway, U.S. Space Chief says China and Russia may escalate the space conflict. He kind of gets into all the crazy shit that they can already kind of do, which is weapons that are able to capably grab hold of satellites and pull them out of orbit. So there's been some crazy stuff that's being done right now. I think that's a big part of why Elon Musk is there and what the point of Elon Musk is and the cover of probably Starlink in the big picture, or Starlink's a military thing to begin with. Hidden under commercial, which is usually how it's done. It gave us the ability to put all sorts of stuff out while we're up there, and I think that's part of kind of what's happening to some degree. We've got things that are floating around doing some mischievous damage to other places. Orbital mechanics are very strange. A lot of people think that we're putting a bunch of missiles up there to shoot back down to Earth. I mean, we could, if we were trying to use them from a nuclear missile standpoint. It would be a weird way to do it, just from a weight standpoint, because it costs a lot of money to get weight up into space, unless we do truly have anti-gravitics, in which case, doesn't matter. You don't even need to. Right? So you wouldn't worry about it, but you'd have all sorts of crazy satellites and shit up there, which most likely we have any gravitics. So again, folks, they're telling us, right? This is what a lot of us have been wanting to find out about, right? Disclosure. And we're getting a lot of it. It's anti-satellite missiles, destroying missiles. They just get into some bullshit that we know about, stuff they've done intentionally. But what Trump's talking about with Golden Dome is a space-based version of security that he could activate anywhere, for any country, for a fee. That's what Trump's basically doing. I don't know if that's right or not, and this might be where, a lot of us are going to look back and be like, that's bullshit. But, I mean, if you're talking about for your country and doing best for your country, America's probably going to be amazing because of this. And we'll have created another race war, but we'll ultimately hold the shield while everybody, establishes what happens. And there's also the fear and threat that if they destroy a few satellites in the orbits, they start to break apart. It creates this area where it destroys other satellites. It's just it becomes catastrophically bad very quickly, and space becomes uninhabitable. You can't launch into it. It's just impossible. So we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of depth to this whole thing. Apparently, the Houthis again attacked the Israel International Airport. It's very strange that the United States and the Houthis are supposed to get a ceasefire, but Houthis just fired 2 missiles, supposedly hypersonic, they're claiming, at Israel. One of them was, in fact, destroyed or shot down. They didn't say whether or not it was the Patriot system failing. That's what they've been saying. But apparently our THAAD system, even for that matter, they've been saying that our stuff's not able to hit these Houthi missiles. They've somehow figured out how to go around our systems, but their missiles can hit it fine. Their Arrow or whatever it's called. Whatever the case, they don't claim in this one which system it is, which I thought was interesting. There's been this weird blame war going on. All said, one of them landed way short, didn't hit the airport, not even close. So what was this really? Is Israel just trying to keep their war going because they want to? They want money. There's the Netanyahu thing, and I'm starting to really feel differently about everything. The latest Hungarian-Ukrainian tensions are troubling. Right now, Hungary and Ukraine are not happy with each other. Hungary's an actual NATO member. A vetoing member NATO. A member of NATO. A lot of hard words. That said, they are basically making it difficult for Ukraine. Ukraine's doing some weird stuff. They've got their spies came over here and we caught them and they were here, right? So there's some very weird stuff going on there. Ukraine is being shut down. Vladimir Zelensky is being taken out of discussion. Lavrov and Rubio are claiming they've had marvelous talks. We had a good time. It was great. And they're talking about how we needed to see some improvements, which I think is on this story. And this is what's being leaked is the agreement for Ukraine that Ukraine basically walked away from and just said, that's a no-starter. And they're like, all right, later. Ukraine agreeing to neutral status regarding NATO. No foreign troops in Ukraine. No nuclear weapons in Ukraine. De facto recognition of Crimea and lost eastern territories as now Russia's. Withdrawal of Kyiv forces from these territories before a ceasefire takes effect. You pull your troops back, we'll give you the 30-day ceasefire. Now, it's not what Zelensky wants. He wanted to keep his troops there and get a 30-day ceasefire, and like Russia says or accuses them of, you're just trying to rearm your troops so you can actually make another affront. And he says, we're not doing that. Russia launched the biggest drone attack since the start of the Ukraine war, because again, we all know, 2 hours, less than 2 hours in, and Vladimir walks away. So Russia launches the biggest drone attack since the start of the Ukraine war, starting at least one. Anyway, it sounds like a bunch of them made it through. The math is painful a little bit, but they sent 200 plus. There it is, 273 total, 88 intercepted, 128 lost. Right, that's about 100 and what, 100, 210? Right, so still about 63-ish. Got through. I don't know. Don't know what blew up. Don't know. Russian forces show what happens when they take out one of these little rotary craft bombers that Ukraine has. The world and wars have changed, guys. Look at, I mean, it's just this video here that's playing over and over. It's crazy enough. We could play the big one, but it's not necessary. This GIF, as I think they call it in the business. Yeah, this thing's just getting smoked. And these drop bombs. They have bombs on them. Multiple bombs in some cases. Grenades, whatever. They're anti-personnel. They can be anti-armor. It depends. But they're kind of big and a little bit clunky, but ultimately are very effective. Very effective. And, yeah, that got smoked, and now they know how to smoke them. Espionage widespread on the Stanford campuses. There's an investigation going on that China is doing all sorts of crazy stuff, trying to infiltrate the Stanford campus. I probably should better to not play 220. But China's set to become the top nuclear power as well. So they're trying to take over our universities. They're trying to, well, and the whole point, yeah, let's play it. Because it talks about how they're trying to steal from us. And I think it's really important. Let's play it, and then you get the point. And now they're going to also make nuclear power factories, which is the next story. All right, these guys are stealing our technology, and then they're going to create a bunch of stuff that a lot of times they don't have as strict rules as we do. That's why Wuhan, it escaped, because they don't have strict rules. We do, because we know what's up. They don't. So part of the problem in the big picture with China kind of doing some of the crazy shit they're doing right now too. Not that I'm against it. I'm just saying it's probably good if other people are like, so what you doing here, buddy? You know, that kind of thing. Hey, hold my beer. You know, like they never say that because they don't drink, I don't think. But yeah, or if you have that Qingdao, that beer, that stuff's great. Check it. Anyway, whatever. You got me off track. It's not my fault. It's your fault.
Students and researchers at Stanford University. That's according to a recent investigation by the school's newspaper. NTD's Washington correspondent Jack Bradley has the details.
The Chinese Communist Party may be conducting a widespread intelligence campaign at Stanford University in California's Bay Area. That's according to a recent investigation by the Stanford Review. The report says that the alleged spying at one of the nation's leading colleges takes place in the sectors of AI and robotics.
The Chinese state that uses Chinese students and Chinese individuals inside the United States to violate conflicts of commitment, conflicts of interest, and do things and incentivize them to be able to come back and provide the kinds of technologies and things that they would be otherwise denied through export controls and other areas.
The investigation highlights the case of Charles Chen, an alleged CCP agent who impersonated a Stanford student. He allegedly urged real students to use platforms monitored by the Chinese government, like WeChat, for their research. China's 2017 national intelligence law requires its citizens to support state intelligence work, turning students into spies.
We've got to be able to sort of call out the kinds of activities that the Chinese government does, placing their own citizens into these kinds of dangerous situations where they're violating U.S. laws.
These kinds of operations were outlined in the Congressional Executive Commission on China back in 2017.
We have a graduate student who told us about something that he discussed in a closed seminar at a university here, and 2 days later his parents got visited by the Ministry of Public Security in China asking why their kid had brought up these touchy topics that were embarrassing to China in a classroom in the U.S. So I think that surveillance is real.
A Stanford University spokesperson told NTD in part, quote, Stanford takes its commitment to national security with the utmost seriousness, and we are acutely aware of the threats posed by the Chinese Communist Party to all research universities. Stanford has rigorous policies and processes in place to ensure that research by its faculty and students is conducted in a manner that safeguards America's interests. They also said the university is reviewing the allegations and is in contact with federal law enforcement on this. Reporting by Jack Bradley, NTD News.
Oh, man, you got NTD? Did you get a shot? How'd you get rid of it? Oh, not. Sorry. Went wrong on that one, I guess. TWC.health/OTF. TWC.health/OTF. Folks, they just got, I don't want to, right? I say it all the time, but they've got the ivermectin, mebendazole. This is the Parasite Cleanse 90-day. Highly recommend it. That one's huge. If you guys know what parasites are, booyah. When it comes to the emergency kits, the medical's a really, really good one. Very popular. Also, the other one that we've sold, I think a crap ton, is the Contagion one, and that's the one that's like specifically viral. If you're doing the cleanse, you don't need to do the viral. I would then recommend looking at the medical kit because it's got a lot of the antibiotics and stuff like that. Very good stuff. Check it out. Go to oops, that's not it. That's a great place to go too. But you want to go to, twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Again, health is a funny thing. And when we know they're trying to mess with us, when you got protection, or the armor of God, one sometimes would say, and I don't mean that doesn't necessarily, your armor of God could in fact entail some other stuff that helps keep you safe if something happens. That's why we have rations. It's why we have some spare cash. It's why we have extra water or filtration. It's why we have a lot of things. Armor of God is a lot bigger than just, sticks and stones. So much more than that. So it's a great product. It's a great company. Highly recommend it. It's the wellness company. That's what TWC is all about. So twc.health/OTF. There you go. We've got some craziness, right? This just, I don't know, it just cracks me up. So we got a bunch of professors that study fascism. That's what they kind of teach, basically. And they're like, we're leaving the United States because you guys are just crazy. And they flee to Canada. By the way, Canada, yeah. I would seriously think about your guys' immigration policies right now. But here's a picture of the three of them. I don't know. Chick in the middle does look a little disturbing to me. Guy in the left for sure. Yeah, like I see him walk up to me. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to, I'm going to try to get out of this conversation as quickly as possible, right? This guy, I don't know. I feel like I might get along with this guy. And then he starts talking. It might piss me off. I don't know. I didn't read it. I didn't listen. I don't know. But it's opinionated, that's for sure. Black fatigue, a lot of people talking about this. There's a interesting video here. I don't know. I say this and I couch it a little bit from kind of, it's not just, hey, Dan found a black guy to say this. No, I kind of think this is a bigger thing in the bigger picture. Like, one, I've been called names my whole life, and it's just part of the territory, it seems, with people that are still asleep. Asleep people like to call people names. It's a weird thing. I think people that, when they start to wake up, they kind of start to realize that there's more to this than meets the eye, right? And that we've all been kind of effed with. And there's just this strange neutrality that begins to form. And a lot of people vibe on that, and some don't, right? And sometimes you meet people that no matter what happens, you're this, that, or the other thing. But what's happening nowadays is being called a Nazi, being called a racist, being called a sexist, being called a misogynist, being called, like, whatever word they call you. There's this strange fatigue that is forming around all of it. It's just being overdone. It's not something that was being used once in a while. It's just now they've just got M60s of this stuff. Versus back when it used to be, silenced, single shot. You're like, oh, damn. You're like, you got me, right? Like, that's just how it was. Now they're just like a hail of these things being thrown everywhere. You're like, well, shit, man, I see you all coming from 400 miles away. That's cool. Keep doing it. I don't care. And this dude's kind of calling it out in I feel like, a better way than I'm allowed to.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash. White people don't want to live around ratchet black people. And black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning and then you see the bonnet crew walk in. Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended. And that's anywhere you go, no matter what. They're highly emotional, highly sensitive. You can't say nothing. You can't even smile and hold the door for them because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on a shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna buy up this, buy up that. I'm gonna support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the fuck up out of there. Because they don't know how to appreciate good shit. And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. crab in a barrel mentality, never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fucking tired. They're tired of dealing with these kind of people on a daily basis. I mean, I get anxiety when I walk inside of a mall nowadays. I mean, because you got these YNs running around and they don't respect nothing. So I don't care what anybody says. White America is tired of you, and we are too.
It's just, yeah, it's over. And for me, like I got two brothers, love them dearly, but they're both very emotional in opposite ways, which is kind of interesting. Which is always, it's fun. They've never had to meet each other, thank God. I think that'd be like a black hole would form or some crazy shit. But the level of emotion and anger and stuff is very challenging, right? Very challenging to me. So yeah, I think there's this fatigue that's happening for a lot of people. There is this thing going on in Los Angeles County. For some reason, you have a business out there. New warning program. Apparently, you can put the stupid sticker on your door, and that's supposed to keep you safe. Yeah, that way, this is protected business. I don't know if it requires an extra $4,000 million that you got to give the state in order to get the stupid sticker. No, you totally get it. No, it's free. You just need to donate $100 million at this address immediately. Otherwise, who knows what's missing tomorrow. Fuck, I hate these people. So I don't hate them. I dislike them a lot. I loathe them. I know it doesn't feel the same, but hate. That's why hate feels good, by the way, guys. It's just that moment where you're like, but that's the enticing part. That's why it's a gateway drug, my friends. Understand that. That's why it feels good. What are we doing here? Manhunt underway. Oh, yeah. 3 inmates. So a bunch of dudes broke out. By the way, it was interesting. I'm just pointing this out. I just noticed. It seemed like the top 2 people in charge of this whole thing that happened here. We have a jailbreak. I mean, again, the main chick that's the jail. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the person in charge of the jails or the sheriffes or whatever. That's a female, to my understanding. Also, there's another leader chick and some more. I'm not trying to say that's wrong. I'm just saying it's just funny how there's a lot of that kind of weird stuff happening right now. That's some good curse words. I mean, it seems reasonably. That's funny as hell. Did they really have that much time to write all that shit while they were breaking out? That's wow. Holy crap! I didn't read that part of the story. They literally had enough time to no, we're not only breaking out, 9 of us, but we have time to write you some. We had time to check how our face looked. Oh Lord, was this a shower room? These guys. Oh, because there's a wall. And they know how walls work. Oh, Lord have mercy. Jesus. Hallelujah. I said it after. That I think saves me. New antitrust concerns as gaming giant complains iPhone ban. I'm wondering about this one. Again, you guys know how I feel about Apple, but whatever the case is, Fortnite's been blocked for a fortnight, it seems. That's actually a specific amount of time, but whatever the case is. This is not going to be specific. Apparently Apple's not admitted why it's blocked Fortnite, but it's blocked them. Can't get it on the Apple. The only other way you can get it, there's a lot of these games, if you will, that you can do on your PC if you need to. Now, unless that's also an Apple, maybe you can't. Whatever the case is, there's my hunch was that they figured out, Fortnite, figured out how to do the in-game purchases outside of Apple's purview and thusly able to side skirt the 30%, I think, ish they get. I think it's 30%. They get a crap ton of money on every single purchase. Everybody's purchase. Everybody that pays anything, 30% of it goes to Apple. Which some could say, well, they deserve it. Why? They're locking out who can do what and controlling what. It's a monopoly. It's very effed up. I don't like it. It's this is the primary reason I dislike Apple, by the way, is the way they control stuff. I friggin' dislike that. I almost said it again. See, even an old dog can learn new tricks. Just saying. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I just wanted to share this was the final story. Los Angeles announces flying taxis for visitors. Flying taxis. And you're like, what? Flying taxis. First off, Los Angeles is doing it, so expect it to kill you. I'm just saying. I'm kidding, Los Angeles. That was a joke, everybody. Of course you can trust what they tell you. But visitors and the athletes are going to use these flying taxis to go to and fro on the Olympics. I don't know why I'm going to go British, sort of, right? Listen here. Let me tell you a story. All right, but here's the thing. Here's what the flying taxis are. This is kind of cool, right? This is an Archer. That's their midnight four-seater. I assume they got slightly bigger ones, but these things are, I don't know. I was reading something about this where like these are pretty close to where you and I can buy this. And it's actually electric. Its range is reasonable. Like 100, 150. It was a decent range. Like you could go hop over someplace and come back, do lunch. Yeah, we'll fly over and then we'll, have lunch with the Smiths over there. Right, whatever. I don't know. I should have chosen a better name. The Rembrandts. whatever the case is. Folks, I don't know what the hell. I'm trying to make it fun. It's on Sunday show. There's something about Sundays that are always fun. And there's some shit happening, folks. Just be careful, be ready, be prepared. Like anything that pops into your head like I should do it now. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't procrastinators create anymore. It's time to do things. We are getting close to something. And again, how bad it is, it's up to the big picture. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was initially foretold, but I think it'll be noticeably bad even. So let's just be ready, Hopefully you're in a place that's perfect and be protected, and may all of you know that you are. Put on your armor of God. You should keep it on all times. Make sure you understand it. Covers a lot of stuff. We got a lot to happen. And also, I've started picking some music. We got that Texas show coming up. Just want to remind people that's going to be Houston area, July 4th. We're doing a 2-hour show, 4 to 6. I already started pulling the music. I kind of got a vibe going for it. Maybe almost half the music pulled thus far. So a lot of yumminess is coming your guys' way. It's going to be a fun show, even if you can't be there in person. It's going to be slightly different. And hopefully everything works the way it's supposed to. We'll test it, but it'll, we'll see. That's always, live performances are the way they are. But it'll be a lot of fun. So July 4th this year. And then we were talking about maybe doing something next year before July 4th, because that's going to be a very special event. So we might plan something like a week or two before it someplace. Quite possibly the same place. I don't know. We'll see. But someplace would be groovy. We'll figure it out. But all said, this might be a thing we do every once in a while where I'll go out and just, give people a chance to come out and hang. And we'll do a live show and we'll greet and meet and talk and have a good time. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Going at a place called 2 A Days. 2 A Days. It's there on Pear Land in Texas, in the Houston area. If you guys can, get a chance, go out there, give them a holler. Just say, hey, Dan sent me. Dan Radio Style or On the Fringe, either or say both if you can. And just be like, we're looking forward to coming out here when he's out, visit him, but we wanted to check out the place. It's actually a pretty cool place, and I think you guys will dig it if you go out there. So 2 A Days is a pretty sweet establishment that let us go there, and it should be kind of we should have the bar to ourselves, or the whole place to ourselves. It's more than a bar. There's room for almost 80 people, 90 people. Like there's some room. It's a good sized place. So hopefully you guys can join us July 4th this year. All said, we are going to change the world. It's not a lot to ask. No, seriously. Just, and then on the side, you might do some things for fun. But outside of that, you're saving the world. Doing it with you, though. Shoulder to shoulder. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.